I'm here with Jeff Sanderson of Citrix, and Jeff, perhaps unsurprisingly, the Internet of Things is again dominating the discussion here at Mobile World Congress. Specific to the IoT, what are some of the challenges Citrix is looking to address?
So along with cloud mobility and big data analytics, we see IoT as one of the major powers and megatrends in the industry that's really driving digital transformation. But we also see security is incredibly important to that and pervading all of those main megatrends. Unfortunately, the industry, I believe, needs to step up quite significantly to address some of the security concerns around specifically IoT. Especially when you consider the proliferation of IoT devices, the threat landscape isn't going to get better, it's just going to get a hell of a lot worse. So, the major challenges around security is one of the things. I think the second thing is just the amount of scale required to absorb all of this thing-generated data. I think the industry expects traffic from devices to quadruple between now and the end of 2020, and just absorbing that data is going to be a huge challenge to any enterprise that's looking to leverage IoT and IoT technologies.
Jeff, where is Citrix's focus in the IoT space? And to build on that, what are some of the related product initiatives?
So we're building on our heritage in secure app delivery. And that really comes down to a couple of things. The first thing is what we're doing in traditional workspace and taking our workspace suite of Zen family products, and we're fusing IoT into that to really build the next generation workplace. And then secondly, specifically in the application delivery networking area, we've been innovating heavily. And at this show, we're actually launching our NetScaler Secure Event Delivery Controller. And that helps with the workspace IoT suite, of course, but actually we see most of the interest in this NetScaler Secure Event Delivery technology in other segments, non-traditional enterprise segments that are really looking to leverage IoT for industrial means. So automotive, transport and logistics being three of the key areas where we're seeing a lot of interest in this technology.
And Jeff, I want to make sure I understand secure event delivery. This sounds like a really important aspect of IoT, so if you could expound on that maybe?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So really it comes down to two things, and I guess the secure and the event delivery piece of it. And let's take the second piece first, so the event delivery. And it's really trying to address the need for handling this new IoT workload. What you have to understand is that the protocols that these new IoT things are using are quite different from traditional web app delivery type of protocols. And they're not only different, their transaction behaviors are also incredibly different. So you can't just take an existing load balancer or ADC platform and adapt them very simply to handle this new IoT workload. You have to do some pretty crucial and specific things to ensure the platform can handle the scale and the security side of it. So maybe if I can, I'll step onto the secure piece of it, because really on the security side of the platform, we're talking about session encryption, and we're talking about session admission. So making sure that you're addressing the key adoption barriers for IoT, which is really security and data privacy, by ensuring those sessions are encrypted and also handled in terms of things like device identity, message integrity, and so forth. So really the Secure Event Delivery Controller is an industry first doing that. We recognize that it's not just about taking a smattering of IoT protocols and adding them into your existing platform. That just doesn't work. These platforms were designed for a different workload, and IoT brings its whole different newer challenges. And we've had to really kind of think hard, long, and spend some time validating the technology in the marketplace to make sure everything that we say it does, it can actually do.
So Jeff, to circle back to what you said about the mega trends that are really reshaping telecom and all the verticals it touches, IoT is obviously one of them, but help me understand how big data analytics fits into that.
So it's a good question. So within the NetScaler Secure Event Delivery Controller, we stream all of the log information back to our NetScaler MAS platform. So that's NetScaler Management and Analytics. And that gives us a number of benefits. It certainly gives you 360-degree visibility of the IoT application perimeter, but it also helps in terms of orchestration and automation of the actual deployment of the specific NetScaler Secure Event Delivery Controller nodes. because one of the challenges is if you're leaving that type of function to be manually provisioned and so forth, then there's a good chance you're going to maybe leave some gaps in the perimeter in terms of configuration. So by doing configuration integrity checking and so forth, we're able to really ensure that the perimeter is not going to be liable to some human error component that might allow an attack to that IoT application infrastructure. Having said that, if you do unfortunately have someone try and penetrate your IoT application perimeter, you really want to be able to pick up that signature pretty early before any damage is done. So the machine learning that we've adapted within our NetScaler MAS solution actually can find the needle in the haystack, literally, and we're able to kind of counteract any malicious attempt to damage the IoT application perimeter.
Jeff, I know at the Citrix Summit, the IoT workspace was on display. I believe you all demonstrated how that can affect healthcare as one example of a vertical application. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, if you think about it, I mean, specifically related to healthcare, just take a doctor's surgery, for example. All of the appliances that they're using as part of their job, I mean, all of them are going to be internet connected. So the concept of the concept of workspace IoT is really about taking all of these different devices and context and information and fusing them effectively into your traditional IT environment. So for example, if you're taking someone's temperature with a device that's effectively an IoT device, then that will automatically kind of read its information and result into your patient management system without having to have the GP manually do all of that. This is just automating that environment. I mean, GPs are stressed enough in terms of trying to drive productivity, if that's the right phrase for it, in terms of seeing as many patients as they can more efficiently. So you can see how IoT fused into that environment is really going to help drive that kind of GP productivity.
Automotive is the one that fascinates me because it seems like we're going to just quickly get out of even a traditional vehicle ownership model and just leverage IoT to just deliver on-demand asset availability.
I think actually that whole automotive space is a perfect example of how IoT is not just a technology to facilitate the most immediate thing that you may think about, which, for example, pulling back engine telemetry. So when the hazard warning light comes on your dashboard saying you've got an engine problem, you don't have to pull over and kind of get a tow truck to come drive it into the shop. You can get a service representative ring you up and say, hey, don't worry about it. Actually, the sensor itself is broken. So there's no problem. Just bring it in the next time you're doing a service. And that's kind of the evident part of it, which is in itself is quite interesting and compelling. Helps automobile manufacturers drive their service quality much more deeply into their customer base. But I think on the flip side of that, using all that information and being able to package it up and actually monetize it in the sense of offering other services. Think about the insurance market, right? Being able to offer things like pay-as-you-drive insurance and so forth. You can see how the power of what the automobile manufacturers are, of what they're doing, can generate secondary markets in terms of the information and so forth. So, who knows where it goes. And personally, I don't drive my car a lot, so I would definitely sign up to a pay-as-you-drive insurance.
That's a great point about sort of that in-vehicle experience that can be enabled for the actual driver, the vehicle owner. But what fascinates me, just to build on this automotive example a little more, is what the actual enterprise can do with it. It can help them with asset management on the production line. If they need to initiate a recall, they can find that asset wherever
Absolutely.
it is. I mean, it's a compelling business case.
Yeah, I mean, when the use cases are kind of N squared, I think you have to focus on something. And certainly the ones that we're working with right now, several automobile manufacturers, are really coming to the table trying to drive their service quality. That seems to be the initial toe in the water, but that's facilitating all their build activity, putting all the infrastructure out there. But you raised a good point before, just going back to standards, if you'll permit me to address that. One of the challenges is clearly in the platform side of the equation, that's going to continually move, every day, every week, every month, that's going to be developed and further enhanced. But some of these devices, and maybe cars are a bad example, but imagine a sensor in a highway, in a freeway, right? Buried in the road. I mean, you're not going to be changing that every day or every week, right? So that's going to live there for probably 10 years, right? As long as the battery in the device can last. all the wireless standards that are developing. So actually one of the problems that we're looking to solve with the secure event delivery controller is something we call the impedance mismatch problem. So whilst the protocols and standards are going to continue to evolve, you're going to get locked into a device that has a historic standard, and you're going to have to balance that in terms of making sure you don't have to rip the road up to pull it out to put a new one in. So these are all kind of some of the challenges and nuances that anyone who's looking to offer IoT are going to have to manage. And our NetScaler Secure Event Delivery Controller is just the thing to try and help some of those challenges.
Well, Jeff, I really appreciate you taking the time to share Citrix perspective on IoT and really reiterate the importance of security in the space.
No problem. Thanks very much.